it's Zoe's tracks, day 35, and she's moved only about 35 feet since her last location on the 8th. Today's the 10th of August 2012. And she's still on the slope above the small spring at Dave and Christina's place. And she's just sitting here on the side of the bank. Take a look at her. All right, there's Zoe sitting there at the base of this little slope right above the spring. And that crashing sound you hear is a Sasquatch, commonly known as the Appalachian Squatch around here in these parts. And in a minute we may get to see the Squatch as it approaches this rattlesnake, because it's known here in this part of the country anyway that the Squatches that live here like to take photography of rattlesnakes. So any minute we may see the Squatch make its appearance. While I'm tangled in the briars, there's the Squatch. The Appalachian Squatch has made an appearance. The elusive Appalachian Squatch, with its incredibly sophisticated camera gear, is going to take some photos of Zoe, the timber rattlesnake, and hopefully not get bitten in the process.
That's the trick.
So the small creature there that approached the Appalachian Squatch is the Squatch's spawn, also known as Mason.
You see?
He's awesome.
Isn't he awesome, Mason?
Yes.
Actually, it's a she. Her name's Zoe.
I haven't seen the rattle. I think it's underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see where the tail goes back under her head. Let me put you right here.
Whoa.
Yes. Careful.
Now, for those of you out there who think rattlesnakes are evil, mean, dangerous creatures, well, think again. Look at this. This is the way it should be. This is environmental education at its best. The Appalachian Squatch is teaching its offspring about how to take pictures of the rattlesnake. Okay, I'm going to have to stop with the Appalachian Squatch thing.
Just hold this like that. Point it at this thing. Okay?
That's more like this snake.
Oh, what a difference. There you go.
Okay, now it's fine. There's a bug.
Oh, there's a bug on its head.
Oh, nice.
There's like an inchworm on him.
Do it.
She's fat, huh?
I'm wondering if she's gravid.
Must be at a really cool spot. Like, you'd think she'd be somewhere warmer.
I know, it's awful odd if she is gravid for her to be up here in this cool shady spot. Now, she's always been one to flatten out whenever I get near her. So it could just be response to us being here.
What?
So how was that? That is what real environmental education is all about. Getting out in nature, taking your kids with you in nature, and learning about nature and wildlife firsthand. Now, you notice the snake never rattled, it never moved. We were in no danger at all. And in fact, I'm sitting 3 feet from this rattlesnake. Take a look. Okay, so I'm sitting here. Now look at this. She's only 3 feet away. I could reach out and touch her. Now, of course, that would be foolish. I'm not in her comfort zone. what she's doing right now is she's flattening out against the ground and being totally motionless, hoping that her camouflage will hide her. And I'm going to let her think that she has succeeded in basically hiding from us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up the hill and leave her alone. What in the world are you guys doing? Oh, that is great. Check that out. It's a real salamander on Mason's salamander shirt. It looks like is that a Jordan's?
Well, the Jordans now are the red cheeks.
Oh, there's a gray cheek too called a Jordan's.
Yeah.
Jordan's gray cheek?
Well, I think they changed the name of it.
Did they?
I think there's like 4 different kinds of gray cheeks.
Oh. I think he's lost his tail before.
He's really big for one.
He's about the size I've seen around Earthshine here. Good job, Mason.
Thank you. The hand.
Well, it's been about a week since I located Zoe, the timber rattlesnake. And she's moved. She's moved quite a ways. She's left the safety of the little ravine at my friend Dave and Christina's place, and she's headed towards the waterfall again. At least that's what it seems like to me. I haven't found her yet, but I'm getting a signal in the direction of the waterfall. So let's see if we can find this elusive rattlesnake. Her signal's getting much stronger the closer I get to the waterfall. I don't know if you can hear it over there. We're really close. It's becoming really hard to hear the beeps from the receiver because of the sound of the water. The strength of the signal seems to be telling me that, well, it's very interesting that it's almost like Zoe followed the trail down to the waterfall. The human trail. See where it comes out? Look familiar? Well, it should, because here we are. All right, where is the snake? Okay, so the signal has led me here to this slope up above the waterfall where Zoe has been before. I'm not quite sure where she is yet, but she's somewhere very close by. And I kind of have a feeling she's probably up on the top here on that jumble of limbs and sticks and twigs and slash from whenever they cut this access way. I think this must have been a surveyor's line. Not really sure, but probably several years ago. So let's see where she is. The signal is very strong here. And the interesting thing is, she's been here before. Oh, maybe a month and a half ago. She was right here around this log. I wasn't able to see her because she was under these logs. Maybe she's out tonight. Oh, there she is. There's Zoe. Coiled on the surface underneath some protective twigs. She really is a plump snake. I wonder if she's gravid. I'm going to look around on the ground here and see if there's any little babies. Little neonates. But I don't see any. So if she is gravid, she either hasn't had them yet or she has already had them during the last week and dropped them somewhere around here. This is a much better spot or having young if you're a rattlesnake, because, well, there's all this cover for one thing, and there's some exposure to the sky, which lets it get a little bit warmer than it would have up there in the gully where she was about a week ago. Habitat is, well, mixed hardwood forest. As you can see, mixed hardwood forest. Regenerating opening. This opening was probably made by people, obviously, for the purposes of preparing to develop this land, which didn't happen due to, well, the economy, as everyone wants to say, and probably other factors. But lucky for her, the land was not developed, because this is right smack in the middle of her habitat. And if this became houses and roads, then she would have a hard time of life. You know, she would have a hard time making her way around. She would have to cross roads. She would have to, you know, fend for herself through yards with humans and their, well, their pets, their sharp farm implements. This is far better for a rattlesnake than any human habitat will ever be. So that is Zoe for today. The date is Wednesday, August the 15th, 2012. So we're going to leave Zoe alone. As usual, we're going to leave her alone, and we're going to come back in about a week and see how far she's moved. I believe she's probably finally heading back up the ridge towards Earthshine. And we'll see what happens in the next week. See you later, Zoe. So it looks like Zoe has done some serious traveling over the last week. She left my friends Dave and Christina's house down in that ravine where we found her the last time, and she moved, it had to be close to 1,000 feet, all the way over down the ridge, over across the creek here, and then back up on the far ridge over here. Very close to a location where I found her a month and a half or so ago. Actually, almost the exact location. So you can't tell me that rattlesnakes don't know where they are. They know exactly where they are. And they can find their way around in the forest. There's no disputing it. How else would she have gone there and then gone way over here and then gone way back over there and found that exact spot? They know where they are. Just like fox turtles. Just like us. Animals know where they are. Now that might, to some of you, not seem very amazing, but I hope to a lot of you that seems really amazing. Because I know a lot of people have told me that animals are dumb. They're not dumb. They're not dumb, at least in the respect of navigation and survival. They're incredibly intelligent. Now, of course, it's an instinctual intelligence. There's also learned intelligence there. They might not be able to fly a lunar rover to the moon, or a Mars rover to Mars, or go to the depths of the ocean in a submersible, or do high school math or college math, but they're intelligent. Take just about any person that you know and plop them in the middle of the woods and see how long they last. Well, there you go. All right, so Zoe's done some crazy traveling, and, well, in a week I'm going to go find her again and keep you posted on her travels. So until that time, I'll leave you with a beautiful view of this beautiful waterfall. Well, there's Utsanati. It took me quite a while to find him because he's way down here on this slope in the middle of the power line access way, and it's very rough and remote back here. Now look at his eyes. He's going to be shedding very soon. You can tell by the glazed appearance, the opaqueness of his spectacle, the covering over his eye. So he can't really see me. He can just see a shadow. This is the time I do not want to be very close to him, and yet I'm only about 3 feet away. When snakes can't see because they're in opaque, the time before shedding, they strike at just about anything that moves because they can't tell what they can't tell what's coming towards them. So I'm going to quickly get my data and get out of here. And, well, it's starting to rain as well. Utsanati's only moved a couple of 100 feet from his last location, over in the woods on the other side of the access way here. He's come downhill quite a bit. Maybe I'll get to find his skin after he sheds. That'll be really neat. Okay, well, we're going to leave Utsanati alone and get out of these woods before we get too wet. Utsanati's decided to move off. While I was standing here recording my data, he slowly started crawling up the hill. I suppose he's had enough of me. I can't wait to see him after he sheds. He's going to be gorgeous. There he goes. See you later, Utsanati. Never so much as a rattle. He's crawling up under that log. What a beautiful animal. So I worry about Utsanati out here in this access way. The reason I worry about him is because recently, the last locate day, about 2 weeks ago, the power line access way here was sprayed with a weed killer, herbicide, whatever you want to call it, and it killed a lot of the plants. A lot of the plants that were still alive. The ones that were not alive were the ones that were cut down back in the spring. If you look around me, you can see a lot of brown leaves. That is evidence of the herbicide that was sprayed only 2 weeks ago. Now, Utsanati's living here in this access way and in the surrounding forest. How is it going to affect him? If you spray the plants that the rodents eat, and then when the rodents eat the fruit from the plants, they're going to get some of this toxin inside of their bodies. It's going to bioaccumulate, and then, in other words, build up over time. And then if they don't die, if they're weakened, they're easier to catch. The snake can catch them much easier when they're in a weakened condition from the toxins. Well then, these toxins then are transferred to the snake in his meal of mouse. So, this doesn't bode well for Utsanati unless he moves on out of the access way and heads somewhere else and gets away from these poisons. But this again is part of my research here to find out how this animal, this one rattlesnake, relates to humans. How is it going to affect him? Is it going to affect him? We may never know without doing a blood test or something like that. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to let him live out his life out here in the forest and see what happens. So just look around me here. Look at the trees that have been sprayed. There's another one. Trees that have been cut right behind me there. Back in the spring, so many trees were cut here in the access way to make it, apparently safer for the the power lines up there, so that the trees don't grow up and fall on the power lines during the winter, or just cause problems from wind and such. It's so remote back here. It's just unbelievable to me that any toxins need to be used at all. Why do they need to be sprayed back here? Why not just come through every 5 years, cut the saplings down, let them fall, and walk on? But instead they have to spend so much more time and money to spray these plants. Look at that right behind me. It's so sad. There's no point. What a waste of money. You know, most people don't even know that this happened because it's back here on the side of this mountain where nobody ever goes except for me and a rattlesnake or two. So you might want to check with your power company wherever you live and ask them, do they spray Roundup or whatever other toxic chemicals are on the market to kill plants? And if they do, ask them not to. You know, if they're crossing your land and spraying this stuff on your land, then it is affecting your ecosystem on your land and affecting you, especially if you grow gardens and such. So think about it. So we're going to leave Utsanati here in the forest and in this nice fresh soaking rain, and come back next time.
Well, the moonlight lights fall this line across the road, and the pond looks like a diamond shining back, but nothing is so clear as the music that I hear coming from the picking shack like a train on the track.